Paul Bissonette is a name that you may recognize from his NHL fame, Barstool Sports podcast, or his successful drink Pink Whitney. Recently, Biz had a run-in with some ne'er-do-wells at an Arizona bar, where he got assaulted by multiple Irish gentlemen. Although this seems like a standard drunken bar fight, this incident blew the lid off of what some may call a scam operation and others would call a cult. I'm the Ivory Door, and today we will be getting to the bottom of one question. Who are the Irish Travelers? On November 24th, 2024, Paul Bissonette arrived at an Arizona bar named Houston's. Biz recounts that he regularly orders food from Houston's, and that he has come to appreciate the staff and management as very hardworking, good people. While ordering a salad, Biz noticed some ruckus involving a group of drunken men harassing the staff. In the following security footage, you could see these men yelling at and shoving the staff. Biz then valiantly decided to step in and attempt to break up the altercation. In response, one of the men immediately started punching Biz, and they all ganged up on him. Here's some more footage of Biz attempting to step in, and then they begin wailing on him. As the fight continued, Biz and his assailants made their way outside, where they continued to assault him. Although they got him to the ground in the parking lot, he managed to get up and continue to fight. He also lost a shoe during that, so just keep that in mind that he's fighting 6 guys with 1 shoe on. Biz noticed that one of his attackers was assaulting a staff member outside of the restaurant, and despite being attacked by multiple people, he managed to protect the staff member by punching a guy so hard that he, quote, buckled him.
And that bald gentleman who originally threw the first punch now starts making a beeline and sprints past all the guys coming at me, and I catch him with a nice right and buckle him. I was very, very happy about that.
Sadly, this buckling is largely obscured by a dumpster in the security footage, but you could kind of see it. I'm going to be honest. Fighting a former NHL player is probably not a good time, even when you outnumber him. You know, those guys know how to take a punch, and, you know, they know how to dole it out as well. Eventually, the cops showed up and broke up the attack, which resulted in the arrest of 6 men. Biz was properly treated by an ambulance and was cleared to go home, and he went home that night with a salad and a few more bruises than he left with. Biz left with something far more important, though. He left with a desire to find out who these men are. This question would only lead to more questions, and a rabbit hole that few would expect. Hey guys, I just want to quickly jump in here and plug some of my stuff. You could skip to the end of this video chapter if you're not interested in all that. If you'd like to support our content, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. And also, we do have a Patreon that you could subscribe to. You know, if you want to throw us a few extra bucks, that'll go toward making higher quality videos for you guys. We also live stream on this channel pretty regularly. It's a lot of fun. So just stop in, say hi, maybe kick us a few bucks if you got it. Also, last thing, you can follow me on X here to see more wonderful tweets like this. And follow my very talented editor at this at. Thanks, guys. Back to the video. Biz got in contact with a private investigator who managed to identify these men as being alleged members of a group known as the Irish Travelers. The Travelers are known to be a somewhat secretive group, and I honestly think I'll probably catch some flack from them for even mentioning them in this video. The information on the Irish Travelers will come from 2 sources: the private detective who Biz hired and appeared on his podcast, and an anonymous Twitter user that goes by the name Shay Stevens. These 2 have been tirelessly investigating the Travelers, and Stevens has been publishing a wealth of info on his X account, so if you want some more detailed analysis, you could go there. And I do need to clarify before we continue that everything said about them in this video are allegations, and that none of it is confirmed in a court of law. So until it is proven in a court of law, take everything that I'm saying with a grain of salt and understand that this is an ongoing situation. I'll start by explaining the large-scale scam operation that is allegedly perpetrated by these Irish Travelers. To paraphrase what the private detective says on his appearance in the Spittin' Chiclets podcast, which is Biz's podcast, the travelers will allegedly show up as a construction or paving company at someone's door. They usually try to target elderly people who wouldn't know any better. They'll offer to pave someone's driveway that day if they sign a contract for a few $1,000s, and they'll even throw in that, if you're not happy with our work, we'll refund you. You just got to call us up and you'll get all your money back. Then, allegedly, they will lay a single layer of asphalt to make the driveway look like it's been fully paved. In a few days, the homeowner will notice that the driveway is crumbling because there was only a single layer of asphalt laid, and they'll call up the company to ask for their refund that they were promised. By the time that they get a call from their unhappy customers, the Irish travelers will have already skipped town in order to go repeat this scam in a new location, hence the name Irish Travelers. Some further illumination to the details of these scams can be found on Shay Stevens' X account. According to Stevens, these travelers will make dozens of businesses under aliases and false contacts in order to cause anyone investigating them to meet a lot of dead ends. This obscures any sort of way of holding them accountable, since it's hard to even track who perpetrated the scam. Additionally, Stevens claims that some strategies the travelers will use is paying cheap laborers to take certification tests under their name. This just expedites the process of them seeming like a legitimate business if they have a certification, which they don't even end up actually acquiring themselves, according to Stevens. Additionally, Stevens says that these travelers will then pay these laborers to use their names in future businesses. All of this is to further obscure their real identities and make it much harder to find the truth of who actually is scamming these people. There have been some more outlandish claims made by Biz's private detective, although he did not provide any documentation of the accusations made. For starters, the PI claims that they often have children with their cousins and other family members to, I guess, keep the bloodline within the family. I haven't seen much proof of that other than that claim, but he said that he had some sort of proof of it, so a much more serious claim was also made by the private detective on Biz's podcast, who said that one of the travelers that assaulted Biz took out life insurance on his elderly housekeeper, who just happened to get brutally murdered the following week. According to the PI, the FBI got involved and stopped the life insurance from paying out to this Irish traveler. And additionally, according to this PI, it was to the tune of multiple $1 million. Although I will not be mentioning any of them by name, I could give some more specific allegations made by Stevens against Biz's attackers. One attacker's father was linked to multiple paving lawsuits and was even mentioned in a scam awareness article written in 2014. Stevens claims that the details listed in this article are a common strategy used by the travelers. If a business catches any heat publicly, they'll just sell it to a fellow traveler or family member so that any lawsuit levied against that business can be dismissed under new ownership. In the case of this article, the paving business scammed an elderly woman and was shortly then after sold to one of the attacker's fathers. This was allegedly done for the purpose of protecting the original business owner from any legal repercussions. The publicity of the Irish travelers that was brought on by Biz's assault caused a wealth of ex-users to reach out with their own personal stories of encounters with the travelers. Although these are unproven anecdotes, I think it would be interesting to read through a few of them that were sent to Stevens and see if we could get a bigger picture of what's going on with these Irish travelers. The following are DMs and comments received from the ex-user Shay Stevens in regard to the Irish travelers. Once again, the claims made by these users are unproven and should not be considered fact. Many of these first-hand accounts come from Fort Worth residents where the travelers are known to operate. Alright, the one user writes, "I'll tell you that Biz is lucky. They're nuts. I've seen them demolish a bar, taking TVs off the wall and smashing them, throwing bottles, breaking furniture. My business partner worked at another bar and she saw a fight a while back where a traveler bit the cheek off another guy during the fight. Like, literally bit his entire cheek off. They're sick." Another one writes, "One of them blindly cold-clocked one of our regulars at the pool table for no reason. We called the cops and he left. He came back when they were there and basically lied about who he was and got away with it." We're hearing here that they have a lot of activity on at bars, which I suppose Biz was a victim of. This one says, "They'll send one of their girls into a bar to hit on a random dude just so the guys have an excuse to rush in and the shit out of someone. It's wild. These are pretty crazy, and obviously these are completely just anecdotal evidence, which from anonymous users, so people can lie on the internet quite a bit, but if these things are true, then these guys truly have been at this for a while, and the only real reason that people know about it now are due to the fact that they happen to attack a high-profile celebrity. But yeah, anyway, a lot of these testimonies are somewhat consistent with what Stevens, the private detective, had to say, and what literally happened to Biz when he got into a bar fight with them. And although these accounts should be taken with a grain of salt, it gives a more kind of first-hand examination of this unfolding story. And I'll say that being of Irish descent, my family has known about the Travelers for a while, but none of us were aware to the extent of which that they have been scamming people and getting into fights. I always assumed it was a somewhat fringe group, but it seems to me that they're pretty successful down in Fort Worth. One of my family members can even recall being scammed by them, and I've attempted to look into that for this video, and I haven't really been able to uncover much due to how good they are at covering their tracks. Well, that was a crazy one, guys. Nothing like a little mass scam conspiracy to kick off the new year. Make sure to follow Shay Stevens on X. He's been every day posting stuff about this, and he has new info every day about the Travelers. And, follow me back on Twitter. He seems like a decent guy. You guys should also follow Paul Bissonette, who had the displeasure of encountering them at that bar in Arizona. And I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, consider hitting that like button, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so you're the first to any live streams or new video uploads from your favorite channel, The Ivory Door. Follow me, my editor, on X right here. Consider subscribing to the Patreon. You guys know the drill. I've been The Ivory Door. Thanks for watching.
The Ivory Door.